Hello, 0, this is Delta 20, over.
0, send.
At Delta 20 at grid 27536122. I'm moving into exposed terrain. Do you have any ISR call signs available for tasking, over?
0, stand by.
Delta 20, this is Tusker 01, over.
Delta 20, send.
Tusker 01, currently 4K south of your location at block 9 to 10,000. Playtime 50 minutes. Ready for tasking, over.
Delta 20, roger, wait, out.
Now we follow this track to this wood line, and I can see the track running off into the open field. And you can see a very nice clear line through the grass going in the direction of what seems to be a town a bit further down. Now, with the information that we found earlier, there's no guarantee that these guys are going to the town, but at this point I'm not assuming anything. Now, going into the open terrain poses us with a problem, because we are with a small team, there's only 4 of us, and we will have to walk the track that these guys have laid. So it also gives us an opportunity. Because we are going into the open country, I can now change the formation into something that is called the Y formation, which means I will have 2 trackers in front of me at a 45-degree angle, about 10 to 15 meters out, and the 4th guy behind me pulling security. Because I have frontal security at this point, I no longer have the dilemma of covering the front and also looking at the sign. Now I can start looking at the sign, which means that we can start speeding up.
Tusker 01, Delta 20, request visual clearance of route from my location, bearing 340 degrees, 4 kilometers, over.
Tusker 01, visual clearance of route from your location, bearing 340 degrees, 4K, stand by. Tusker 01, no visual contact en route, over.
Delta 20, roger. Request ISR overwatch for my call sign for the next 30 minutes, over.
Tusker 01, provide ISR overwatch for your call sign for the next 30 minutes, Wilco, over.
Delta 20, roger, out.
Okay, so we've been following this track now for a short while. And as we came out of the leaf litter in the forest, the sign has now changed because we're now tracking in grass. Grass is a really good medium for tracking, especially with the sun at a lower angle. Because what happens is that the leaves will start folding down in the direction that the quarry is moving. And by doing so, it almost creates like a mirror surface that reflects the sun directly to the eye. So you get like a light track in the grass that you're trying to follow. And you know this is true because if you watch television and you watch football, you'll see where the lawn mowers have mowed, and the light ones, the light parts that you see is always away from you, the dark ones are always towards you. So grass is really, really good. Also, when I look at the track, a couple of things stand out to me. I can already see a very nice sort of outline of the boot that was put down. You can see the pressure where it was pressed down. Some leaves are being cut off. You can actually see on the leaf the regularity of the stems being pushed into it. You can also see that some of the moisture that was here, and let me just grab it out, it's no longer the nice drops. It's all sort of wiped out by the foot coming through, but it is still wet, so it tells you something about the time. The other thing that I can see is that there's still some transfer on the leaves. So the mud that was picked up by the quarry back in the forest it's still underneath his or her shoe, pressing down and leaving some residue on the leaves. So again, this gives me a lot of confidence that I'm still on the right track. Also, what you can see is there's still a little bit of dew left on this grass as we're going forward. Now, that dew is then washed off or pushed off by the person stepping on it. So again, a good confirmation. The most important thing about this is that the mud that was transferred onto the grass, but also the dew that was washed out, is still wet. And with this temperature here, and the sun is out, that means that the time distance gap between us and the quarry is no more than 50 to 20 minutes. So we're really getting close. We spend enough time here, we gotta hurry up now.
Delta 20, Tusker 01.
Delta 20, send.
I have you approaching the village at grid 2719, 6523. No visual contact, over.
Delta 20, roger, out.
So we followed the tracks of our quarry across the open field into this barn here, which is at the edge of a village. And as I was moving into the barn, I saw what seems to be like a stash that was left behind by our quarry. Now what I can see is a couple of backpacks, there's equipment, there's clothing there. And from what we know from earlier, I was convinced that these individuals were going into this direction on some sort of operation. The weird thing is they left their uniforms behind, they left all their equipment behind, which to some sense could make sense when you consider that they are now going into a populated area. But they also left their weapons behind. And I really don't understand what that means at this point. So we got one thing to do, and that's go into the village and find out.
Delta 20, this is 0. Local law enforcement en route to your location. ETA 7 minutes, full stop, link up, handover cache, and proceed on track, over.
Delta 20, Wilco, out.